everybody. This is ALA and
Tenny-Ten-Ten.
you're plugging in to our newest episode of
Oh, Sippin Trippin. I didn't know you were going to stop.
I mean, you did it to me last time. God damn it.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
We need to keep that.
Okay.
That was funny.
Anyway, this is a podcast where we talk about our experiences in Japan, laugh about it, and just overall be our goofiest selves while talking about random things that just come up in the normal course of conversation. Today, we are going to talk about
Honen Sai, also known as Honen Matsuri, which is the male genitalia fertility festival.
all right.
Should we put it that way? Should we phrase it that way?
I mean, I was just gonna stick with fertility festival, but either way,
let's just quote Wikipedia. Honen Sai, or also Honen Matsuri, is the harvest festival, which is a fertility festival celebrated every year on March 15th in Japan, and it is most famous for having a very large wooden phallus.
Yep. So, for the sake of future monetization, we're going to refer to that member of the male body as phallus if we ever do get to it. But when you were, at least when I was in Japan, people were very happy to call it what it was, the 5 letters of the male body. But we won't do that here because we're grown up.
You know what we should call it?
What?
Trouser snake.
Ew! No. See, now I had said we should just say peanuts, like the comic with Snoopy in it, but then the imagery of Snoopy dancing
ruin Snoopy.
in a phallus.
That's gonna ruin Snoopy.
Really, yeah, so we can't do that. Although
wait.
that image is already in your head.
Okay, let's call it Mr. Broom. Yeah, because it's made out of wood. The big one at the festival.
Yeah, but brooms don't come that thick.
So many dirty jokes, so little time. Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, we can only speak really from my experience because Tenny-Ten-Ten never went to any of these festivals.
No, I saw enough on TV to be horrified, but also I am quite a prudish person, so.
And I mean, I won't say that I'm prudish, but I am curious, so I ended up going twice. So there's that. Not ashamed. I'm very happy to tell you guys about it because it was a very interesting experience.
Well, that's why I'm here to ask questions. So.
All right. So I'm here for it. But...
Let's go. Let's go.
But I want to preface at least this conversation by saying that when I went in. Hold on. The first time I went with my sister and 2 other friends, and then the second time I went with just 2 other friends. Never the same group of people. So I was the common denominator, but the people I went with was different.
Interesting.
But it's just that's what it was because the people that I went with the first time, it was probably one of I think she had gone a couple times because she lives there and she's married to a Japanese man. And then the other friend, she only ended up staying in Japan for like a year or 2. So that was like her last chance to go. And then, of course, by the time I went again, it was my last year in Japan. And I knew I was leaving in like 2-3 months. So I was like, I'm definitely going one more time. Like, I want to have the full experience and enjoy it with these 2 people that I feel like I can enjoy it with. I do miss those times. Though. It was a precious time in my Japanese life.
My Japanese life.
It's so behind me now. Like, it feels like a whole other...
So many dirty jokes, so little time.
Anyway, it just feels like a whole other lifetime. But will I say I'm happy that America doesn't have a festival like this? Yes. I'm so glad.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so glad we don't have... We are not okay for this. Like, we are not ready.
So sometimes I think even Japan is not. ready for a festival like that, and it's their festival. But I think the US, we would either take it too far or we wouldn't
Mm.
keep what seems to be an actual kind of innocent joy about the
Right.
festival, you know? So
It's a mix because, like,
it is.
from what you guys will hear from the description that Tenny-Ten-Ten will give from, you said it was from Wikipedia?
From Wikipedia.
Okay. It's like the festival is tied in with like a religious practice. So the idea of connecting fertility and phalluses with the Christian Church of America, like it's just they don't go together. Like we're already not in that sense sexually liberated enough to
We're
do
still
it
very
with our church.
Puritan, you know?
Yeah. So
So,
but then Japan, like Japan has, you know, it has a history of like shunga art, which is kind of like their version of pornography in a sense. They have hentai.
mhm.
Like there's a lot of different things where it's just like normalized really. And so I think that's why that they have a space where this can exist and it's like it makes sense, but it doesn't. Like it's so weird, but again, it's worth going. Like I feel like if you're there during that time of year, it's worth going to in my opinion because one, the food's delicious. Two, it's just sights you're not going to get anywhere else. Like period. Um and just three, the people that you go with make the experience worth it. Like I would not recommend showing up as a foreigner by yourself because then you're just kind of people watching. But at
Mhm.
least when you're there with people you care about, it's just like not only are you giggling and having fun, but you're also just like navigating this weird space together. And it's kind of, for me, it was a connecting experience with those friends that I got a chance to go with a little alcohol
Mhm.
involved because there's like a little liquor store across the street. So we got a little bit like, you know, a little chew high, got a little, you know, little alcohol to kind of loosen you up a little bit. But yeah, it's a good time overall. It was a
Mhm.
good time for me.
I know. I just so it's a harvest festival, which is a fertility festival. So it's
Mhm.
Honen Sai, which is prosperous year, that's why. And then it venerates Shinto deities Mitoshi, so Mitoshi no Kami, and a
Mhm.
female deity, Tamahime, or Tamahime no Mikoto. So, okay, let's look. Mitoshi is the son of the Shinto male deity Toshikami. Hey, I've heard his name
Mhm.
before. He's also known by locals as Otoshi or Otoshi no Kami. And
Mhm.
then it goes into like the whole family thing. This is a lot to read, so we're gonna skip. And then the best known of these festivals take place in the town of Komaki, just north of Nagoya City. And then the festival's main features are Shinto priests playing musical instruments. Sorry, wait, hold on. I could be a grown up. It's okay. Hold on. A parade of ceremonially garbed participants, all you can drink sake, and a wooden phallus.
What? That was all you could drink sake? Pardon me? Like, I'm
It,
sorry.
it doesn't help that Wikipedia has the picture of it.
I mean, no, you can definitely access the picture. Like,
I don't
you
know.
have to
Thank
do your
you.
history.
Oh, thank you.
Do your history. Do your history.
I'm really not mature enough for this conversation. Okay. Um, wait. I'm crying over here. Hold on. The 280 kilogram or 620 pound, 2.5 meter or 96-inch long, 200 to 250-year-old Japanese cypress wooden phallus is called yobutsu, meaning the male object, or o owasegata, the grand phallus object, which is carried from a shrine called Shinme, Shinme-sha. That's a hard sound.
Mm.
In even numbered years. Oh my gosh, they do it by years. Okay. So
Mm.
they carry it from the shrine Shinme-sha during the even numbered years in Komaki on a large hill from Kumanosha Shrine, an odd numbered years to a shrine called Tagata Jinja in Komaki. That's a lot to read. Okay. So I guess in even years they carry it from one place to one place, and odd years they carry it from another place to another place. Just put it that way. And then it says the festival starts with celebration and preparation at 10 a.m. at Tagata Jinja, where all sorts of foods and souvenirs, mostly phallus-shaped or related, are sold. Sake is passed out freely from large wooden barrels.
I did not get any free sake. I'm a
No?
little hurt. I'm a little hurt.
And then it says at about 2 p.m., everyone gathers at Shinmesha for the start of the procession. Shinto priests say prayers and impart blessings on the participants and mikoshi, as well as on the large wooden phallus, which are to be carried along the parade route. I should say, so mikoshi is the sacred religious palanquin. So, like, that's how they carry their deity or deities around. So, yeah. And then their mikoshi kind of looks like a miniature building temple looking thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, wait. The last part, it says when the procession makes its way down to Tagata Jinja, the phallus in its mikoshi is spun furiously before it is set down, and more prayers are said. Everyone then gathers in the square outside Tagata Jinja and waits for the mochi nugget, at which time the crowd is showered with small rice cakes, which are thrown down by the officials from raised platforms.
I remember that part.
We're not going to talk about the fact that they spin this thing around and then they quote unquote shower you with rice cakes.
Well, that's the thing. Like when I was there, at least, I saw them at the end of the procession line where they would take it and they would kind of like, as quickly as they can, as a group of men, get it to turn around and around. But like the mochi part didn't come until after they put it down, and then they would move to a whole other area at the shrine, and the guys would stand up really high and then throw these mochi cakes down, which, by the way, I don't think I caught any, but if they hit you, it kind of hurt. Like,
oh no.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't know if I want this that bad.
That's what she said?
Doc! So, yeah, memories.
It does sound like it would be fun, but again, looking at the picture from Wikipedia, I started giggling like a 5-year-old, so I'm really not the most mature person for this kind of festival, which is ironic because, like, I love reading about different people's religions and cultures, and a lot of cultures and a lot of religions, you know, they have fertility festivals, and it's not usually very sexualized, you know?
Right.
And so I think, like you were saying, if we brought it here, I'm very afraid people would find a way to sexualize that.
Yeah, it would be perverted somehow, I think.
Yeah.
Which is really sad.
But I mean, well, also think about how, so I don't know if you remember, there used to be this Burger King commercial. I think it was both a commercial and an advertisement, because I remember the print advertisement where they had like this kind of hoagie shaped sandwich, and the girl's mouth was open, and it was something like, oh, don't you want one of these in your mouth, or something like that. Like, it was very on the nose. And I'm just like, really, Burger King? Really? That's not word for word what it said. It was just to that effect, okay?
Right.
So just imagine with this fertility festival in Japan, because I've had Japanese people tell me about it, like for the Japanese people who went, like the foreigners would eat the Mr. Broom shaped objects and then, you know, kind of simulate certain acts with those. objects. And just imagine if it was the US. I mean, I'm from Vegas. Do you know how many people with just like
Mm,
regular drinks do that crap on a daily basis as tourists? So I
yeah,
don't see that ending well.
I can see what you mean there. I can see what you mean there.
I feel like that's one way they would pervert it, you know.
Mm. I I mean, I feel like even when I was there, like, there's a lot of photo ops. Like I took pictures with friends where we're about to eat the banana, like mouth open,
Hmm.
just being silly. And like for me at that point in my life, that was in
Hmm.
its own sense liberating. Like I was actually I felt it was so strange to say it that way, but it's just like I was like at least the second time I went, I felt like I embraced it more. And I feel like I
Hmm.
needed that experience too, just because
Hmm.
personally as a woman I was awakening in some sense mentally about what that was. Now
Hmm.
granted, it's a fertility festival, so people are going there to get their families blessed. They're going there in hopes that their womb will be open. They're going there in hoping that
Or that
they're
their
going
Mr.
to have,
Room will be opened.
yeah, or that they'll have a safe birth. Like, so you see pregnant
Yeah,
women, you see
yeah.
little kids, like you see all these
Like, having
people.
healthy babies and
Yeah, like you see all these people touching and eating these things, and it's just like they're eating it with like in some sense an intention of hoping their family will be blessed. And
hmm.
whereas the foreigners are just like, well, this ain't for me like that, but for the culture. Like it was just like you
Hmm.
can kind of sense that too.
Hmm.
um and I will say I'm guilty of that for sure. Like I definitely didn't leave with a ton of souvenirs. I definitely know people who like left with like rocks that have been carved into those shapes, keychains that are carved into those shapes. I didn't want all that. I just
Yeah, I
wanted
think
to
that's a little too
I
far.
wanted to see the people. I wanted to eat the food.
Hmm.
I wanted a reason to like just sip on some sip at 3 p.m.
Sip on
because
some
no,
sip.
I don't got nowhere to be. So I'm at this festival. So let's sip. Like like it was just,
So I have,
it was just nice. It was just nice.
if you don't mind me interrupting you, I have like two
Hi,
questions.
also.
So the first one you said, hi. So the first one you said, I want to sip on some sip at 3 p.m. Like, what day did you go to these festivals?
I consistently remember it being on a March 15th every year that I went. So,
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean,
um,
like, what day of the week was that?
well, I mean, I don't call exactly, but I do
Oh,
know. Let's see. If it was 2018, I'd have to go look at a calendar. But I know
I
that it was
shall
a work.
look.
It was technically a work day, but I didn't have work that day because for me, at least the second time I went, I was finishing up at my job, so I was not scheduled to work that day. Um,
2018, March 15th was a Thursday.
okay, so that was definitely during the week. And I
Hmm.
think the first time I went, hold on, that was my first year as an AET, right? So that
Hmm.
should have been like 2015, March 15th. So whatever that
2015.
was.
That was a Sunday.
Okay, so that was a weekend. So it's just whatever March 15th was that year, that's what it was. The Ides of March, ironically. Um, so yeah, it was just whatever day that falls on. But I always, at least in that case, because Sundays for me was a rare work day. But in that case, that Thursday that I had, I was not scheduled to work at all. I don't think maybe even for the rest of that week. So it was not a problem for me to be out and be like, yay,
I
let's
just
just
realized
enjoy
March
this.
15th, that's when my first grandmother passed away.
Oh, then you
I
definitely don't
just
want to be
connected that.
probably don't want to be at a fertility festival while you were
I
thinking about someone
mean,
that.
if anything, she might be like, get me some grandbabies. So-
Sip. All right. So, what was your second question?
I don't know, it's gone. And so,
I got
well,
two
so your
questions,
friends
kind
were
of.
all of your friends were female that you went with, like including your sister.
Yes, I believe so. I want to say the first year we went, did her husband come?
Sorry.
Oh dear, sorry. Did one of my friends' husband might have showed up for a part of it, but I don't remember now. But
Hmm.
my crew, the crew that I stepped up with
My crew.
every time was all female. Like we did see, other foreigners at the festival. And I definitely want to touch on that too. Other
Hmm.
foreigners at the festival because we've touched on in the past about how like when you see other, black foreigners and you try to say hello to them, they might
Oh,
like
that's
ignore
my
you.
second question. Okay, we're our telepathy's on point. Yes, yes.
Oh,
Keep going.
okay, cool. So in this case, at the festival, whenever you did see other foreigners, like they tried their hardest to be like, I don't see you, you don't see me, and it's just
Really?
like, if we're gonna be freaks out in the daytime,
That freaks out.
give a wave. Like it's not like we're out here. Like stop acting like you're the only foreigner here. Like we're all here. We can be comrades. Like now is this festival where you go and make friends? Probably not.
No.
let me be clear. Probably not. But at least like say hi. Like it was weird to me that people were still trying to like tiptoe around other foreigners. It's like I see you. Like stop.
Questions.
It was just weird.
Oh,
Okay, go
question.
ahead.
What if in this case it's not because they were trying to be the magical unicorn at the party, but it was that this is something unique to Japanese culture, and a lot of
Yeah.
other people don't have that. Plus, you all are walking around eating phallus-shaped foods. So, would you really want another foreigner looking at you? You know what I mean? Like some people might have been
Mm.
too shy for that. You know?
Maybe. I just what I can glean from it now that I'm older and
hmm
away from it
hmm
is that when you're at this festival, the main focus is the phallus. So maybe it was like an excuse to be a foreigner somewhere without commanding all the attention. Like maybe that's really what it was. Like, hey, this is a weird day. I don't have to be the center of attention because one, I'm not at
hmm
work.
hmm
Two, I'm not the only foreigner at the party.
hmm
Three, I'm not the only foreigner in any location. There's a whole bunch of us. So maybe like all the attention is like broken down and spread out. So maybe people felt freer to move around, but it just
hmm
to me, it was just like I felt like it was like this was our chance to all be weird together. Like that's how I saw it. And
hmm
so when people still don't want to be like, hey, and like I will also say though, at the festival, I didn't really get hit on at the festival. So I will say that. Like it was
Yeah,
an
that was gonna
enjoyable
be one of my
time.
questions.
Yeah, it was enjoyable in the sense that there wasn't some guy being like, hey girl, hey girl, like there's no one following. Although we did
Well, I
get
see you
flashed
eating
by a
that
guy.
banana.
We got flashed by
You got
somebody.
flashed.
So let me rewind. Um,
Uh-uh.
the 2015 excursion when my sister was with me, we were
She
sitting
said
down. I think
excursion.
we were eating yakisoba like near this
Oh,
nearby
lucky.
grocery store because like you sometimes you have to like go into this grocery store or like this area if you had to go use the bathroom. So you kind of linger towards those areas if you had to go to the bathroom, you wanted something to eat
hmm
that wasn't at the festival.
hmm
But we were eating like yakisoba and this like
Tabetai-yo.
old oshikatta, oshikatta.
Uh,
Um, this old Japanese man comes up. I think he came up to my sister in a trench coat.
oh, freak. Oh, gosh. Oh,
And
gosh.
like to like ease your guys' anxiety of the story I'm building here, he pulls open one flap. He's clothed underneath. So let me just give you guys that relief. But he has like a little puffy female genitalia candy that he shows my sister and then closes his thing and like walks away. And like so we like just
What?
laugh. Like we just laughed because this dude just flashed us his candy, but it
Oh,
was
wow.
funny. Like it was just kind of funny. So it was just like that was unexpected. Yay, kind of thing. So my sister might have to come in and correct me, but if I'm not mistaken, it was a female genitalia, not a male one. So it's just, but it was like he just flashed us and then kind of kept it moving. So maybe he made his whole day just flashing foreigners. I don't know, but it was definitely a moment to remember. It was really funny.
I'm so
Oh.
mean to people that do stuff like that because like I don't know why, but something in my the first time someone tried that to me, my first reaction was, "Huh, 6 out of 10." Don't know,
Ouch.
don't know why. I don't know where that thought came from. It came out my mouth, and the person was just like, and then I think it clicked in their brain, and then they just
Dang.
they just walked away.
feeling some kind of way. Just like
Don't mess with Scorpios, I'm just saying.
she just shot me down for something that she didn't even really want to see. Like,
I think it's because I didn't want to see it. I just, because you're always afraid of being that foreigner. I say with
yeah,
quotes.
yeah,
And you can't, unfortunately, you can't just say and do what you want in certain situations. So I
yeah.
guess like the claws came out. So yeah.
Yeah, I will say I've never been flashed anywhere else ever. So thank you, Jesus.
Um, I've been flashed in Vegas, but it was a long time ago. I was like 16 or 17, and I was just riding my bike, minding my business. This guy leans out his car and flashes me, and don't know why, but I said, "That's it." I feel like the 6 out of 10 was the nicer version of that.
I think so.
But then, but then, I just casually bike away, and when I thought I was far enough away from him, I just booked it. So I was scared because I'm like, who just flashes children? Like, what is wrong with you?
See, again, that's one of the reasons why the festival can't come here. It like literally can't, because
You
like
know,
I feel like
wait, you know that stupid pervy thing that would always be infomercials? It's like girls, and like they would make the girls, college girls, flash them. The Girls Gone Wild. I
oh, I
feel
remember
like
those
they would
infomercials.
take somebody's religious festival and turn it into like a 2020 version of Girls Gone Wild, which was messed up then too, because like I don't think a lot of those kids realized the severity of what they were doing. And anytime the infomercial came on, you know me, I'm like, click, nope, nope, don't need to see that.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Well, like I think the sad part too is that like at least the equivalence with the festival and that Girls Gone Wild is that like both cases, tons of alcohol is involved. Like
hmm
those women, I assume really. I mean,
I
I
don't
guess
even
some
know if some of them realized they were being recorded.
like consensually speaking, I don't think those girls were like, "Oh, this is going to be like shared with everybody." Now, if they did, they didn't realize the heaviness of what they were deciding to
I
do.
don't
But
know.
come on, between
I
the
don't
ages
know.
of 18 and 22, a lot of people are making some dumb decisions, and I'm like, that would
Yeah.
kind of suck that it's going to follow you, especially for women, because
But
let's
also
be
they're
honest,
still
people,
kids. They're really
yeah, like
still kids.
people get canceled on Facebook still to this day because of a over sexualized post. Like that still
Yeah.
happens. And it happens more to women than it does to men. Let's be honest here. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, even with the fertility festival, like people were getting like face drunk and like falling out on the ground and just laying there on the sidewalk until they woke up. Like we did see that. Like that happened.
hmm
So like where I'm having an excuse to sip at 3 p.m., some other person's just getting completely twisted. And I'm like,
hmm
um, okay, sir, you might want to go handle that, but okay.
I do have one more thing. So I
Yes.
remember last time when we were talking about this festival, there was also another one that
Mm.
is um in the spring. So it's the Kanamara Matsuri,
Hmm.
which is Festival of the Steel Phallus. And it's held each spring at the Kanayama Shrine or Kanayama Jinja in Kawasaki, Japan. And the date changes because it's the first Sunday in April.
Hmm.
And then again, they have illustrations and candy and food and decorations and like even carved vegetables. And sorry, I saw the picture and I started giggling. So then the Kanamara Matsuri is centered on a local um Wang venerating shrine. I'm just gonna keep changing the name of it. And the legend is
Keep us
that
guessing.
yes, the legend is that well, that's what your little trench coat man did. The legend is that a jealous, sharp-toothed demon hid inside the V of a young woman who the demon fell in love with, and then um um bit off the what can we call it? The hammer, if you will.
That's a
It
phrase.
I'm
Bit
just
off
saying,
the
bit
hammer.
off the hammer. So it hid inside this young lady's, area, and then and she fell in love with that demon. And so it bit off the hammers of two young men on their wedding nights. And then after that, the women sought help from a blacksmith who fashioned an iron phallus to break the demon's.
I'll break his teeth. Yeah.
Wait, no, don't. Ooh, imagery, no, no, thank you. Okay.
Oh, so
Um,
crunchy.
no, stop it, you stop it. Which led to the enshrinement of the item. This legend in Ainu language was published as The Island of Women by Basil Hall Chamberlain. And then the Kanayama Shrine was popular among sex workers who wished to pray for protection from sexually transmitted infections. And it's also said the shrine offers divine protections for business prosperity? Okay. And for the clan's prosperity, for easy delivery, marriage, and harmony for married couples. The festival started in 1969. Oh, so I guess this is a newer one. And
Interesting
today the
year choice.
festival, shut up. Today the festival has become something of a tourist attraction and is used to raise money for HIV research.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Bikuri ne. So
Yeah.
okay, so here's the thing. You know how at a lot of Shinto shrines they have like this kind of white paper on a string and they like tie it around certain things?
Mm-hmm.
So this iron popsicle, if you will, it it has one on it, but when you look at the picture, it looks like something else entirely that I don't need to see.
Mm-hmm.
So the okay, so just imagine, and then but imagine there's a white piece of paper hanging from the top. What does that look like to you? Don't do the sound with your mouth.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I was thinking. Jeez.
I did tell
see.
you I am not mature enough for this conversation. Like I'm
You
just letting
did.
you know.
You
Okay, this
you
is not a
warned
here. I'm
me.
just sending you the picture.
Don't send me the.
Too
Ah!
late.
I had a thought. There was another section at the festival where they pass out these little branches that
Mhm.
have like a little white string tied to them, and it's supposed to be
Mhm.
like a keepsake.
Mhm.
I think my sister might have got one from a friend who went. I think she passed it on to my sister for some reason. It was kind of random. But again, anything to do with like touching the items to get this fertility blessing, I did
Mhm.
not mess with that. I'm like, look, maybe y'all don't want to act like there's something spiritual here or not, but just in case there is, I'm not touching anything. Like, I'm just sorry.
Well, that's
I'm
my
gonna
other
be that
question
person.
because as
Oh
you
my.
and I both, I told you, you and I both know that Japan is a non-religious country with religious practices.
Yes.
Or some Japanese people like to say, like, we're not religious, but we're spiritual. And I'm like, but you guys have a whole religion.
It's like,
Um,
well, what I noticed from the people that I got closest to is that like they are really they're atheists, but they
there.
like practice Buddhist traditions because it's just like, well, just in case.
Well,
But it's
except the
just like,
Shinto part, because some people do take
yeah.
Shintoism very seriously.
Let me think. The people that I knew personally, because like, I'm like thinking of one family we stayed with for New Year's. Like, they only really did the Shinto stuff because it's New Year. Like, there was no like, no, there's something to
Oh
this. It's
yeah.
like, no,
Oh yeah.
we just do it. I'm just like,
Yeah.
wow, like it's just I don't know.
Because for some
There was an
people, it's
emptiness to
culture.
it, I guess. Yeah, but there was like, but still there's emptiness there because like belief is energy. Like, like you can like feel it when somebody believes in what they're trying to do. Like you can
Hmm.
feel it. So,
Hmm.
I've met people who are like, I'm Buddhist, and they had like a different energy about them because there's certain teachings that they are like applying to their life actively Whereas
Yeah.
they're like, well, when people die, we do this thing with the bones just in case, like, and we're just passing the bones around. It's like there's an emptiness to it where I'm just like, I feel like
I
they
mean,
cheat themselves out
to
of that a
us,
little
it
bit. Well, to
it
yeah, to
seemed
us,
empty. Yeah.
it felt empty. But like, but again, like, I'm not trying to tie it to anything, but like, when you consider the overwhelming sense of sometimes hopelessness or lack of belief in anything in the suicide rate, like, it's not
In
like it's
Japan.
not connected though. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not there. I won't say there's a correlation, but there's a connection there a little bit, if that makes sense. You know, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I don't want to make this all meta or anything, guys. Like, I don't want to make this a sad point, but it's just like, there's an energy there. So again, that's why I didn't personally touch any of the things there, because I'm like, look, yeah, there might be some spirits in this. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't need to carry that stuff with me. I just want to have this experience outside of the bubble.
No, I understand.
So yeah.
I understand, especially if
Okay.
you go to like Tokyo.
Hmm.
When I was there, like I loved visiting the temples. Like I really think it's interesting. I like going to the shrines, even though I'm Christian, you know?
Yeah.
Just because I feel like it's still part of somebody's culture.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
like in Asakusa,
yeah.
Asakusa in Tokyo,
Mhm.
like that's a Buddhist temple. And the thing that I like the most about Buddhist temples, or even the actually mainly the Shinto ones, but even the Buddhist ones, you can still
Yeah.
pray to your deity. So if you're
Yeah.
Christian, you can pray to God. If you're, Muslim, you can still pray to God. If you're a Zoroastrian, you could still pray to God, like it
Yeah.
they're not saying you have to pray to our deities.
Yeah.
So there was one day my friends and I went, and we went to Asakusa, and I don't know why, I just kind of felt sad for a moment.
Hmm.
Also, I was hungry, so I think that's what it was. But I just like, said a quick prayer, and it's a very kind of spiritual place. Like there's big energy there.
Yeah.
And I think it helps that there's thousands of people walking around all the time.
Right.
Um,
What
and
shrine was
that
this again?
Askasa Kanan, because Kanan is the goddess of mercy.
Mm.
So, Kanan's pretty flexible with, oh yeah, you can talk to your deities in my space, it's cool. You
She's
know.
like, here, I brought tea.
You know? And then not so far away, I mean not so far away, sorry. It's also called Sensoji.
Sensoji. Hmm.
Don't remember why it has two names, but it has two names, and it's like one of the oldest
Yeah.
temples. It was built in like the 600s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And can we just talk about, like, side note, how the US bombed Japan, but so many of these temples are still standing?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's kind of part of, I wonder if that's part of why so many modern Japanese people are like, yeah, I'm not really a religious person, but I still participate in this because this is my culture and I'm gonna um
Yeah.
keep that in my heart.
Yeah. Maybe. That's a good point. That's a good point.
I be thinking sometimes.
See, like for me, most of my shrine experience was in Kyoto. Like there was a
Oh, I
vacation my
liked the
sister and
Kyoto
I.
ones, yeah.
Yeah, we took a vacation in 2011 for like 3 weeks to Osaka, and we took a 1 day excursion with a tour guide to
Hmm.
Kyoto, and we saw three different places. We saw
Oh,
Heian Shrine,
uh-huh.
we saw Kiyomizu-dera Shrine, and we saw Sanju Sagendo
Excuse me.
Hall.
Hmm.
Um, and like the Heian place was a Shinto shrine, so it's like there's all this nature behind it. And
Ham?
me and my sister were both like, this place is kind of special. Like I we both agree there was something there, but we couldn't put our finger on it. So we made sure that when we did go up to like the little altar, Like we just took a moment to just be grateful, one, that we were in Japan safely, that we're having a great
Yeah.
trip, but just grateful that we were having this experience after waiting for it for so long. So
I
like
don't think
we
I've been
felt
here.
power there. But
Yeah.
then Kiyomizu-dera is just beautiful to look at. Like there's so many different like
I think I've
scenic
been there.
places to stand and to
Yeah.
look at it from different angles. The trees, the forestry is just gorgeous. Almost like y'all was really thinking about how to set this up.
You know,
Yes.
no, I have not been. I went to the Daibutsu.
I have not been there.
Okay.
And then the other place, Sanju Sagendo Hall, is a Buddhist hall where you have to take off your shoes before you even go into the hall to look at all these standing Buddhas with like perceived 1,000 arms. Like there's like 1,000 golden Buddhas
Oh my gosh.
just lining this hall. So like, and you have to like stay pretty quiet. It's pretty dark in there. That was a very powerful experience, just because for me as a person at that time, I was studying Japanese art history. So like
Mm.
realizing the meditation that goes into building each one and then putting them all in this hallway so that when people walk down this hallway, they have to meditate and think on life. Like I was like, this is amazing. Like, how did y'all even come up with this? And then there was like another place where they said like there was a battle that happened upstairs, so like the
Oh
blood
my
of the
gosh.
enemy still seeped into the wood upstairs.
Oh my gosh.
So I was just like, okay, Lord, keep those vengeful spirits at bay. But like, it was still an experience that I wouldn't take back for the world. And I know later on, I got to go to Inari Shrine with my friend
Yeah.
Iverson. We went to Kyoto for a day, and I think I saw Kiyomizu
Oh.
with him too. I think. But yeah, we didn't even get to go through all the Inari Shrine gates. Like, there's like 1,000 of them where you're supposed to walk all the way up the mountain and come back down. Like, we're like, we don't got time for that. We got to be home by like this time. I'm sorry,
Well, you're
we're
supposed
gonna
to
do like
walk up the
15
mountain
minutes.
and meditate.
Yeah, but we didn't have time for that. So
You didn't
I
have
just
time for that.
we like looked, we came back around. I grabbed a fox for my sister. We headed it out. Like I was
That's
just like,
cute.
look, my sister likes foxes. That's why we're here.
Oh wait, you went to the Fox Shrine in Kyoto.
Yeah, that was
Okay,
when did we
I've been there.
go?
I've been there.
I think I went with my friend. That was in
I
2017
always
or
forget the
16. And
name.
that was before he left. But like we went there because
Hmm.
I wanted to well go with him because he was getting ready to leave Japan anyway. But I was just like, well, this is a good time to go, birthday shopping for my sister. So it was all like a nice, easy way to do all those things at once. But again, like that's one of the things I wish I could have done more while I was in Japan was to see more shrines. I should have
Girl,
made
I
a
went
bigger
to so
effort.
many, and honestly, it's mainly because of my friend Yukako and Beth, our
Woo!
Beth,
You
um,
shout
from
out.
from the U.S. Yeah, and so, but Beth and I went to Kyoto, and then we went to Daiji, which is
Mhm,
also the Daibutsu-den, where the giant Buddha is. One of the
mhm,
giant Buddhas, anyways. And then
yeah.
we also went to Kinkakuji, which anytime you look up Kyoto, you'll see it. It's like a golden temple, and it's like surrounded by trees and water, and very beautiful. It
Oh,
was
I've
very
seen. Okay,
rainy. Yeah,
I saw
so
that. I saw that. But it
same.
was so crowded, like I couldn't even enjoy it. Like there was so many people with selfie sticks, and it was horrible. I was like, I don't want
Oh,
to
I
do
think we
this.
lucked out, kind of. We didn't think so at the time, but we went on a rainy day, so there weren't as many
Oh.
people. Like it was still busy, but it wasn't too crowded. And then we got to ring a bell.
Mm,
I forget why.
I see.
And then we also went to Fushiminari Taisha, which is the Kyoto Fox shrine you were talking about.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
where my knee went out, and I had to use my umbrella to support me like a cane. And then my knee was messed up for a good 3 months.
What?
But I was like, I'm gonna walk through here. It's gonna happen because I've always wanted to go here. And then I just kind of was in too much pain, and Beth's like, we can always go back down. It'll be fine.
Ooh, I'm so sorry that
Well,
happened.
I mean, it's life. My boots weren't as supportive as I thought they would be because those steps are very old and
Yeah.
very what's the word? Well trodden. So they're kind of worn out. And yeah,
Right. Right.
my boots
Oh
didn't
man.
have arch support, which messed up my knee.
Oh
But
yeah.
it was still
Yeah.
fun. I still enjoyed being there. And that Inari shrine, oh my god, there's so much energy there. There's so much there, and it's very like, come and play, go do things. That's the kind of energy I got from there.
I'm trying to remember. Like, I just know
And then
that
the
time I went.
Kinkakuji. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Maybe it's because we didn't walk through enough of the gates to get the any sense of the meditation. Like, it was just a lot going on. That was also a very like packed visit though. Like, because I've only gone to Kyoto twice. So like when I went with my sister, I felt like it was extremely impactful. Whereas when I went
Hmm.
with my friend Iverson, it felt kind of rushed because we literally just had the day to kind of go and then hop on the train and get back to Nagoya before nighttime. Because I'm like, look, I ain't trying to
Hmm.
be out here. So
Trying to be out here.
it felt more rushed, I guess. So maybe that was my own intention going into it. Because like
Yeah.
I think he had a good time, which I'm glad. But I was kind of like I felt like more rushed through it, I guess. So that I
Oh,
guess that affected the trip. But
yeah.
Valencia still has their fox, so I guess I'm happy about it.
I don't think I bought anything. I just took pictures. That's about it.
See, I took pictures with my sister, but when I went with my friend Iverson, I just came back with stuff for her. Like
Uh-uh.
I was like, hey, I don't need pictures when I'm coming back with stuff. So maybe I just traded off. I don't really know. Man, I miss Kyoto. I miss Osaka.
I honestly like I do like Nagoya, but I kind of prefer Kyoto because it's a bit more traditional. And that
That,
speaks
but
to my spirit. Yeah.
Kyoto is also a tourist trap, though. That was the
No,
one thing
no,
I did not
no.
like
I
about
mean not
Kyoto.
not the touristy places, just like the regular, degular, towns and cities and stuff.
But the regular was full of tourists and foreigners too, and that's
That's
also
because
where
you went
people
to
just.
tourist places.
Oh no, because like we had to take the train to get to those places, and like the normal train interactions, and in between those locations, like you see
Mhm.
so many foreigners because it's a tourist trap. But it's
Mhm.
like if I can't imagine having lived in Kyoto because I would have constantly been perceived as a tourist. Like that's one of the reasons why I was like, I don't think I could. I don't want to live
See,
here.
because for me, I've heard that there a lot of foreigners like living in Kyoto.
Really?
Yes, because they don't feel like they're stared at as much and, people freaking running
Oh,
into the street to run away from them. Cough, cough, Nagoya, cough, cough. And um there's a lot more traditional houses too, which
mm,
they're actually trying to, what's the word, preserve them because it's
mhm.
kind of going out of style to live in those houses. So some Japanese folks aren't even living in them, so they're leasing them out to foreigners. And the
Oh,
foreigners are like adding to the houses, but not taking away from what the house represents. And like,
yeah,
some people are like investing their own money to preserve these houses. Like, there's a whole project. I don't remember the name. My friend and I were watching it, and I'm like, I would totally want to live in one of those. That's so awesome.
yeah.
I think the only scary for me, what's scary about some parts of Kyoto, there's,
Hmm.
you know how in Nagoya there's not really a sidewalk, there's just that line that separates you and the street.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so in Kyoto there's no line. It's just
Oof.
street.
It's just street.
It's just street. And so it was kind of scary walking there because I'm like, oh my God, are the cars gonna see us? Like, are they gonna be okay? Are we gonna be okay? But other than that, I thought it was cool seeing the little jinja, the little,
Hmm.
the neighborhood deities.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh, they're so cute.
Hey everyone, ALA here to close out the episode. We keep talking about this for a while yet, so please tune in to the next episode to catch the rest of the conversation. Thank you for listening to Sippin' and Trippin'.